if you indulged in some binge watching over the holiday weekend, you may have landed on the latest thriller that is creeping the country out.
That's right. It's called You. It stars Gossip Girls alum Penn Badgley. It's been watched by more than 40 million viewers on Netflix. It's about a guy who falls for and then stalks a woman he just met. We're going to talk to Penn in a moment. But first, spoiler alert, we want to tell you more about You.
Hello there. I'm Joe. But the real question, who are you?
You is the much talked about thriller series originally broadcast on Lifetime, now streaming on Netflix, which has gained millions of new viewers in recent weeks.
Everyone just calls me Beck.
And there you were. Every account set to public. You want to be seen, heard, known. Of course, I obliged.
It tells the tale of a New York City bookstore manager named Joe, who exploits today's technology to at first stalk and then woo the object of his obsession, a young writer named Beck.
Tell me who you really are, and I'll find you.
As Joe transforms himself from behind-the-scenes stalker to in-real-life boyfriend, he will do whatever it takes to eliminate all obstacles standing in his way, even if it means murder.
It scares me to love someone so completely and not have them love you back.
But surprisingly, some fans of the show are loving him back, despite Badgley's character being a stalker, murderer, and straight-up serial killer. One Twitter fan asking Badgley to kidnap me, please. Badgley simply replying, no thanks.
There's scary people in the world, Beck.
I'm on to you.
Jealousy got the best of me.
Said in today's 24/7 hyper-connected society,
Things you do for love.
You taps into our fears of how vulnerable we can be, sharing our lives with the world.
Are you watching me?
Maybe.
Stalker.
Actually, we were just saying you don't seem creepy.
At all.
Not
You
in
seem like a
person.
nice guy.
Wait.
Can you believe this? Because this was a show that had a whole life on Lifetime.
It did, yeah.
Now it's on Netflix, and it's blown up. Why do you think that is?
I mean, that says a lot about the way youth consume media, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the internet is changing everything.
Yeah.
Well, what's
Stalking. It's changing stalking.
Yeah.
Making it a lot easier.
Yes.
It's true.
Okay, now.
Binging and stalking are now things.
By the way, this show is addictive. If you start watching it, you understand why people hang in there. You start off the show just seeming like a nice guy. We're not really on to you all of the way. Talk about kind of the evolution of your character.
Well, it's interesting the way people are talking about him because I mean, I don't find it addictive because I have to be him.
Yeah.
He's a pretty reprehensible guy. And you start to discover his true motives pretty early on, like 8 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who's capable of stalking. He's a guy who's capable of murder. He's a guy who's capable of a lot of manipulation and abuse. So it's this really interesting thing where you're seeing the trajectory of a soul, of a man, and he's just completely obsessive and compulsive and believing that he's operating by the logic of a true romantic. And I think so what he does is he takes the tropes that we've seen in romantic comedies, movies and shows I've been a part of, and many of my colleagues, you know what I mean? And it totally subverts them by actually following them closely, and he comes to this like really kind of terrifying conclusion.
Well, that's how he pulls it off. The scam. Here's what's weird. People are starting to tweet you. Now, you're like you just said, you're a total soulless, psychopathic killer type.
Yeah, in real life,
Let me just say, on the show. Okay, so somebody says, okay, but Penn Badgley was sexy as Dan, but Lord, Joe is a whole new level. And then you tweet her back, of problems, right? Another one said, I said this already, but Penn Badgley is breaking my heart once again as Joe. What is it about him? And then you write back, he is a murderer. I know. So you're kind of telling people maybe you should find a new object of your fascination.
Well, so that was partly disingenuous on my part because the whole point is that he's meant to garner a conflicted reaction.
Yeah.
Because he's not. I don't see him as a portrayal of a real person. I see him as a representation of the part of us that identifies with him, the part of us that is a troll, the part of us that is victim blaming, the part of us that is privileged and blind. You know what I mean? I think we're meant to identify with him. I was doing that on Twitter, very tongue-in-cheek, and in fact, I reached out that woman. Her name is Nobia, and hopefully she's seeing this. We were DMing.
Oh,
I just wanted to check in and be like, hey, I didn't realize that.
What did she say? Yeah.
I don't know. She's very intelligent. She's like, it was very. she's
Well, I think
she's
the
on the right
viewers
track.
are having fun too. They're saying like, "Oh, he's so cute,"
Totally. I
whatever.
was having fun. They were having fun, and I think what's funny is that people kind of jumped on the Joe train and were trolling her, and it's like, no, wait, that's not what I intended at all. So it's interesting.
Do you seek these kinds of roles out, or do they come to you?
It's like I'm 2 for 2 in 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's not, or 12 years actually. I'm 32 now. So no, they find me like Joe.
Well, is your wife like, why are we playing these roles again, or does she kind of get a kick out of it?
It's both.
Yeah?
It's both. She wanted me to take it.
She did?
I was like, I don't know if I can play this guy.
Yeah.
She really wanted me to take it. So.
Well, it does make you think also about everything that you put out there on social media and how someone can really get to know you and kind of use that. It's a little terrifying.
It is. I mean, the whole point is that Joe is actually not a mastermind.
Yeah.
This guy's,
Right.
I mean, he's actually, in some ways, he's extremely average.
He just has an internet connection.
Yeah.
Well, Penn Badgley, lots of people are watching.
Thank you, Penn.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on the show.
Thank you.
You is streaming now on Netflix.
All right.